Cheers.
Cheers.
This is a continuation of our last talk. So we have finished almost all of this.
Finished, and we got a brand new bottle.
We got a brand new bottle. We drank a little bit of it, a little bit before.
So we're breaking our established rule of stopping filming after we finish the bottle.
Yeah.
But
this one went down so fast, dude. It's unfair.
It did.
Yeah. It's just so easy to drink. Nomiyasi.
Yeah.
But so today we're going to be talking about bath culture in Japan.
I love it. That's my favorite thing about Japan.
So
hands down.
Why do you love it? Because I'm not very familiar with it, actually.
So I like being naked in a hot tub. I don't, you know, I'm sorry. I don't know how else to put it. It's very comfortable. I like being naked in a hot tub. It's a very relaxing feeling.
I'm trying to pour your drink right now. Just wait a second.
Well, you asked me my opinion on the matter.
Go for it.
But so I think something that I think is very uncomfortable for Americans is being naked in public, right?
Sure.
It's just something you don't experience. I think even as a kid these days, like growing up in high school, in junior high also, you know, you have your locker room, right? So you guys, like for PE or if you're doing sports, it's like if you're on a team, it's like you go to the locker room and you're like, it's this big shower room, right? And you go and you all shower together. So you're all naked. You see each other. It's like, yeah, that's just how it is, right? And then, you know, I was in the military, so that take that and times it by like 100.
Yeah, right.
And it's like you are doing everything together, and you're very familiar with each other. So for me, I don't have any shame or whatever being naked. I could you know, go lay outside naked. Yeah. That sounds uncomfortable to say, but
yeah,
you know,
I get it. I get it.
It's very comfortable for me to go to the onsen here.
Yeah.
I don't think that's so much the case these days in the U.S. I think
for sure.
there's definitely a little bit more effort to give people more privacy.
Yeah.
But you know, like I just said, I like being naked in a hot tub. It's so great. You go to the onsen and it's like it's kind of like a weird sensation because most onsen you'll visit. And so onsen's like a Japanese bathhouse. Most of the time,
hot spring.
Yeah,
you're talking about sento.
Yeah,
Sento's a Japanese bathhouse.
Yes. A hot spring. Most hot springs you'll visit, they're usually pretty crowded.
Yeah.
Right. At least the concept of it is sometimes you'll go there and it'll be empty, but you usually go there and it's crowded. But it's weird how private it feels.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you go there and there's like. There'll be like a wash area before you get into the hot spring, and it's like everyone's, you know, washing and cleaning themselves. But despite being next to a whole bunch of naked dudes, I feel very secure and very private.
Dude, can I just tell you something? So my dad is my dad's a huge like neat freak, and he's kind of like. He's the kind of guy who doesn't go to public bathrooms because he's afraid that they're dirty, right? So
oh my God.
You
took him to an onsen?
Yeah, we went to an onsen together.
You madman.
No. But I mean, so we used to go to like he lived in Europe for a lot of years, so he doesn't care about nudity so much, anyway.
Okay, yeah.
But so he was fine with that, but. You know, in the cleaning area, the shower area where you have the stools with the hole in them and stuff, he would not sit on that. Because he's like, some dude's balls were touching this. I'm not going to put my balls on this either. So he was like squatting and hovering over it while he was like washing himself because he didn't want to touch it because he's like, oh, this is so dirty.
I don't know why that makes me think of my dad because my dad's probably not like that, but he's very particular with his food.
Okay.
He will not let his food touch.
Oh, really?
Like other foods on dinner plates. So if like sauce like leaks over.
Dude, he would love Japanese food because everything's in a separate plate. God. Then
yeah, you probably would actually.
Yeah.
But it's just so funny. Like we'll have breakfast and stuff, and he's so particular about like his eggs.
Oh, really?
Like,
so the egg yolks don't...
The egg yolk can't like leak over and touch the bacon.
Really?
It just ruins everything. And it's like, oh my God, Dad, it's not that big deal. Meanwhile, me, I'm just like.
Yeah,
like mixing everything on the table.
Just put the toast and the bacon and the egg in a blender. It tastes better, you know. But yeah, no, it's funny because I spent my formative years. You know, I lived in Germany until age 7.
Yeah,
and there's no beach around, but we went to the bath houses and we went to the pool houses, whatever. And Yeah, I mean, I wasn't like, we weren't naked, like we wore stuff, but there were cases where there would be women who were topless or something, and it was just,
You just
no one
didn't think
cared.
anything about it?
Yeah, no
interesting.
one cared.
Hey, you've been to like nude beaches and stuff in Europe?
I have not been to a nude beach, but I've been to beaches where women don't have a top on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like it's a very similar concept with onsen, because I've been to co-ed onsen.
Oh, yeah, konyoku?
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard, I've never been to konyoku, by the way, but you know, there's a term in Japanese called wani, which means alligator, and it's about the guy. There's a guy who always sits there and he's looking to see if he can get a peek. Something from a girl. Like, did you see any of those guys when you were doing konyoku?
No, I was really intoxicated. So
wait, where did you go, by the way?
We went to Kusatsu.
Kusatsu? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That I don't know if you've ever been up there. It's a really fun place, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really don't remember much. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
But it was a good experience, and I think something I would probably relate that to maybe the concept of a nude beach, where it's like everybody's naked, but it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for the most part, like most adult women kind of cover up a little bit because it's Japan and there's a lot of modesty, but like kids are naked. Like you see like little boys and girls and stuff running around naked, and it's like, dude, you would never see that in the US.
Yeah, right.
You would never see that.
Like I remember, I was in the airport in Abu Dhabi when I went to Milan.
Yeah.
A couple months ago, and I went into the bathroom, and there was a French dude.
Yeah.
With his daughter, who I guess was like. She was like maybe 2 or something, and I guess she pooped her pants or something because he like stripped her down naked and on the sink basically, and was like cleaning her up and changing her and stuff. And I'm like, wow, you would never expose your child like that in the States.
Oh, for sure. So something similar happened. My buddy, he's got a 6-year-old daughter.
Okay,
and I don't remember the exact reason for it, but he posted a picture in our line chat group. It's kind of like a big foreigner group, and it's probably about 30 or so people. We're all friends. And it was him and his daughter. I think they were just at a sento, like just a bathhouse here. But yeah, they were both naked. So it's like he shared a photo of his 6-year-old daughter just like completely naked. And yeah, it's like I'm pretty sure the FBI would like come and like kick down your door if you did that in the US. You know what I mean? But it's just something you don't think about here. And he's from the UK, so I don't know if the culture. I'm sure it's similar to European culture where it's just not a big deal. But it's like nudity is just so heavily controlled in the US that it's like it's just everything is just such a taboo.
Well, you know what's funny is so I used to think that it was because it was America, but actually, you know, during the Renaissance, they had all those nude statues, right?
Yeah.
And the Catholic Church was really up on the people to cover it up. Like the statue of David used to have a fig leaf on it to like cover up, you know? So I think it's just because Europe has gone post-Christian, but America is still very much Christian, you know?
Yeah.
But so that's kind of like sento culture. But what I'm kind of curious to hear from you is the home bath culture. Like you have a bathtub in your house.
Oh, okay.
And how is that different from
other than the fact that my bath talks to me? Like, my bath in America doesn't talk to me.
My bath sings to me.
No kidding.
Plays music for me.
Yeah. So bath cultures I mean almost like a complete 180 from how it is in the US. So let me just to give like a baseline, let me explain what American culture is for bath. So you don't take baths. First, well, let's establish that. You don't take baths in America. People, the only time you see people taking baths is if you're watching like some like 80s horror movie and they have like the stereotype like a blonde girl that's like taking a bubble bath while the serial killer is going to come and kill her. That's the only time you see people take baths in America, when you're about to die. Normal people don't take baths. You take showers. And you don't take them at night to relax.
And the shower head is but you have a bathtub, but the shower head is in the bath to catch the water.
Yes. And you don't take them at night to relax. You take them in the morning to wake up and get ready for work.
Yes.
That is what a shower is for.
Yes.
Right? It's like I woke up and I'm stinky and I want to, clean myself up before I go to work, and I wake myself up by usually taking a colder shower, right? Yeah. And so that's what bath culture is in America. It's like,
I would say for taking a bath, not a shower.
Yeah.
It's a very feminine thing that girls do for self-care.
Yes.
They'll put bubbles in, maybe some rose petals and some aroma, and read a book and drink some wine, whatever. But guys never do that.
Yeah. So it's funny. I've brought up my military experience a lot today, but we had a saying. It was shit, shower, shave.
Yeah, shit, shower, shave. Yeah.
Every morning. That's as a man, you wake up and that's what you do. Right? And that's your morning routine. And so I think that is very much American culture. Yeah. But in Japan, it's like literally the opposite. Like bath cultures, first of all, you do it at night, right? Which I want to be honest here, and I want to just pause for a second. Why do people shower in the morning? I don't care what I feel like going to work. I don't want to go to bed stinky and sweaty. The concept of showering in the morning is like, it seems like such a ridiculous thing to me.
I still understand though, because like, honestly, taking a shower in the morning wakes you up.
It does wake you up, but it's like, man, I'm going to be honest here. So I had roommates in college. I lived off campus. And I had a buddy who was a mechanic. Yeah. And so 3 of us all lived in this condo, right? My friend owned the condo and we rented from him. And so my friend had the master bedroom, and there was 2 other bedrooms, and I was in one and my friend was in the other, and we were right next to each other. Yeah. And like I said, this guy was a mechanic. So he was a very greasy, hands-on kind of guy.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling this story.
Right?
Yeah.
And this guy showered in the morning. He also didn't flush, which drove me nuts. Oh my God. There's one thing you need to establish in your life. It's flushing the toilet. But anyways, that's
we'll talk about that later, yeah.
Probably won't. Let's be honest.
Let's not talk about that. We'll save that for another time.
But yeah,
future, maybe.
But yeah, he used to shower in the morning. And so every night he would come home just covered in grease, because rightfully so, he's a mechanic. It's a very hands-on job. You get dirty when you're doing it. And it boggled my mind that he would come home and he would wash his hands for dinner, right? Yeah. Like, he wasn't a complete animal, still a little bit, but he would come home and, go through whatever he did during the evening and then go to bed. And he would go to bed stinky. Yeah. And so over time, it built up until his room stunk. Yeah. And then it started creeping over to my room. And all of a sudden, my room smelled like grease and stuff. And it's like, it was so gross. So it's like, even before I came to Japan, I was already showering at night, just because it felt very intuitive to me. But yeah, like, so I think, in my humble opinion, I think showering or even bathing at night is the better way to go. But there's a whole other aspect of that with Japan, because it's not only about like going to bed clean, but it's I think you understand this probably more than I do, but it's like a family experience. Yeah. Right? Because like you shower with your son every night, right? Yeah.
So that's something that I really wanted to talk about today. When I was thinking about this topic, was because in America, bath time is not really a thing. Like, you'll have dinner time, have work time, but bath time is not seen as like a ritual, a thing where you have expectations where everyone does it in kind of a similar way, Yeah. And so I don't have a context for what bath time should be like. Yeah. So I take a bath with my son, and we have fun, like there are toys in the bath and stuff, and we talk and stuff. Yeah. But sometimes my wife does bath time with Lewis. Yeah. And when sometimes, because I hear them laughing and stuff, and I knock on the door and I open it up and I say hi and stuff, and I see them, and they're doing stuff completely different.
Oh, really?
From what I would do. So like the other day, like, just to give you an example about after you get out of the bath, like I wash my son, but I come from a shower culture, and so my shower head is up on the peg, and I'm letting it rain down, and Lewis kind of walks down, and he kind of like goes around like this, right? Which is cool because he can do that. But then when I saw my wife Natsumi do that, like she's crouching down and doing the like ass to grass squat that I can't do because I'm not Japanese. And like she's like, she has the shower head and she's like washing Lewis, but then also like putting soap on him and then washing. And she's doing something where like I can see that there's a context for that. Like that's how her parents did that for her, so she knows how to do that. And I don't have that context, so it's kind of like I'm running blind. And so I actually feel kind of bad when I give my son a bath because,
hey man, sorry for this shitty job, but we're gonna do it how we do it in America.
I know, it's like I have no clue what to do, but like because there's a story about how bath time should be, and she knows about that. It's a more enjoyable time for him. At
like when he's with your wife?
When he's with my wife, yeah. Because I'm just like, hey, let's just chill in the bathtub. Like I've never done this before. Here's some toys, let's hang out. I'm just chilling here, relaxing. But she knows what to do because she grew up that way, right?
Yeah.
And it just goes back to show me how like the culture that you're in has stories and narratives and like
very
roles
much.
that what to do. And there's no role. Like when I first came to Japan and I started living with Natsumi, and she would take a bath every day. And when I first moved to Japan and I was living by myself, I didn't have a bath. I had such a small place. I just had a shower, and that was fine for me. But then there was a bath, and she would take a bath every day. And she's like, oh, do you want me to keep the bath for you? And I'm like, why? I don't need that. I just need a shower,
Yeah.
And I can see like such a big part of Japanese culture is built around the bath. Like, so one thing that really hit me that was amazing was, so when I went to Natsumi's grandparents' house in Itoigawa, so they're not like super rich, but they're landowners, and they're fairly well off. Like they have a pretty big place. And their bath room, the room with the bath, is huge. It's like the bathroom by itself is at like 6 tatami mats, so rokujo.
Wow,
it's huge.
Okay,
right. It's huge. There's like so much. I mean, maybe 5 Joe, but
that's like the size of my apartment.
Yeah, seriously, dude.
God.
It's like literally this size of this place, right?
Yeah.
And so like there's this huge space for you to just kind of like walk around, and for you they have like the little seat, and they have the built-in thing. Like the walls are plastic, and everything is set up for bath time, and then they have the electronic control device that sings to you or talks to you to tell you that the bath is ready, right? But everything is all set up, right? And it's like when I go to the bath in the States, it's like this cold, shallow, like porcelain steel contraption that I don't want to get in because it's so cold. You know? No. And then even if you put hot water in it, you're good for like 5 minutes, and then it gets like nudity, it gets lukewarm again, and it's like, this isn't fun.
Yeah.
Like, why?
No, I do understand that. I will say there is something that so something that I do like about Western style baths is I like taking showers.
Yeah.
Baths are fun, but I think for me, and this is probably just because I'm not Japanese, for me, it's like I take a bath when I want to relax, but my day-to-day thing, it's like I take showers.
Yeah.
I take baths when I'm specifically going to an onsen or a sento or everything. And I think probably when I have a kid, I'll probably end up taking baths, but it's like every day, like I don't take a bath. I in fact, probably the last time I took a bath was when we went to Osaka during Obon. Yeah. So I think for me, I'm still more comfortable in that Western style.
Yeah, well, like when I went to my Airbnb in Milan a couple months ago, there was no bath. It was just a shower, right? Because that's kind of how it is. So like kind of what happened in Europe was everyone had a bath. Yeah. Well, first you went to like a spring if you had a spring because there was no bath. But then you had a bath because that was easy. You just put hot water in it. But then then the next stage was the shower. Yeah. So like baths replaced the springs and then the showers replace the bath.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, why would you take a bath when you can take a shower now?
Yeah.
But for me here, I'm actually starting to take baths more often because I need that time to switch off. Like there are some people who will bring like a waterproof TV and watch stuff, or there are people who will take their phones in and they'll
that's fun.
watch YouTube while they're doing it. Like my wife does that sometimes, you know?
Oh, really?
But for me, it's like, no, dude. So there are so many thoughts going on in my mind that I need to cut off from technology. I need that quiet time by myself. Separate, and so now I try to take a bath most days because that helps me sleep better. But in the States I would never have thought to do that.
For sure. I really my goal is to live in an area where I can go to an onsen or a sento at least every day, ideally. But
dude, the local sento around here closed like a couple years ago because people just don't go anymore.
That's depressing.
Yeah.
So something that's really cool. So I live in Otaku, right? So it's the largest ward in Tokyo.
Okay.
Which I didn't know that. Like most of the people who live in Tokyo kind of like live in Otaku. It's a very like suburban area.
Yeah.
And Otaku is very famous for having like black onsen. Have you heard of that before?
What's that?
So it's just volcanic minerals.
Okay.
It's what makes this black culture, not black culture, black like
water.
Yeah, and but because of that, they have a lot of onsen and a ton of sento around Otaku. So I'm kind of spoiled for choice where I live. Like I don't have any in my immediate vicinity, like not within like 5 or 10 minutes, but there's tons of onsen around me that are within like 20 minutes or so. And so that's going to be really hard for me to give up when I leave Tokyo at the end of the year and move to Kawasaki, because I'm so used to going to onsen all the time.
Well, so I'm sure that there are places like actually there's actually so the place that's closest to me, which is like a 4-minute walk from my house, closed down. But there's another place near where I live that's like within a 10-minute walk.
Oh, okay.
And that actually was featured on TV recently.
Really?
It's a pretty big, pretty popular place.
Nice.
So, yeah. But yeah, so I want to talk a little bit about how the home baths are so different from the bathtubs, the bath systems in the United States.
Oh, very much. Yeah.
So can you tell a little bit about what your bath can do?
Okay. So, can I, without stepping on your toes, can I talk about like just the bath layout in Japan?
Go for it. Yeah.
Okay. Because I want to talk about the whole room, because the room's completely different, right?
Yeah, right.
So, and I want to talk about some little gripes that I have.
Okay,
too.
sure.
Some little like daily fights that, well, not like daily fights, but daily battles that I have with Yui sometimes.
Sure.
So, let's talk about the American baths first, right? So if you go into a bathroom in America, the very stereotypical bathroom, it'll have like a mirror and sink, it'll have a toilet, and it'll have a shower system. So you'll have like a bathtub with a shower inside the bathtub.
Yeah. And shower curtains.
And you'll have shower curtains. And I would say it's about 50% of the time you can't remove the shower head. Most of the time about 50% of the time it's probably fixed. And then sometimes it just depends on personal preference.
Yes, right? You'll have like two spouts where you'll have like the shower head that's connected to the wall. The faucet. And then you'll have the faucet that goes in the bathtub.
Yeah.
And the way that you switch between the two is by pulling a plunger or pulling a button. Like there's a plunger or a button in the bathtub or a switch that you pull or you push down that'll then toggle between the two.
Yeah. So that's like what your typical Western bathroom will look like. In Japan, immediately right out of the gate, you'll notice that the toilet is not located in the bathroom.
Yeah, right.
That's
Which
because
to me makes total sense.
It took a while for me to really grasp that concept, but then it's like, if you just look at the name, it's a bathroom.
Yeah.
You have a toilet room and a bathroom, and all of a sudden that makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So just a question for you in your place. Do you have like an intermediate room where you take off your clothes and then you go into the bathroom?
So because I'm living in an apartment, kind of.
Okay.
it's an open intermediate room. It's my laundry area.
Yeah.
So it's this kind of outlet. So it's like if you go into my apartment, there's this kind of like square area. My wash machine will be right here.
Yeah, right.
And then we have curtains that you can pull over.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like it's an open area, right? We don't have a door, but it's still closed off, and that's where you take off your clothes and just throw them into the wash machine.
Yeah, the one sliding door in my house is for that area.
Exactly, and I think that's very Japanese. But yeah, so right off the bat, you notice that the toilet is not in the bathroom, right? It's a bathroom. It's where you go to take baths. If you want to use the toilet, you go to the toilet room, right? So you go into the bathroom, and in Japanese bathrooms, the entire room is used for bathing. So if you go in, right off the bat, usually the bathtub will have a faucet, but the actual shower head will be outside of the bathtub. It'll be usually off in like a corner. And most people in there will put like all the stuff they use for bathing near the shower head, because you don't wash yourself once you go into the bathtub.
Yeah.
That's you
go in there by dirty.
Yeah.
You don't wash yourself before.
Yeah. So right there, that's very different, right? In Western style bath, it's like you do everything in the bathtub.
Yeah, right. Like the water itself gets really dirty, and you would never think to have someone in your family enter that bath water after you've used it, right? Because that's kind of like all your grime and your dirt is in there, so you wouldn't want someone to use that. Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing, and I don't know if you want to talk about this, but it is like sharing bath water. Do you want to chime in there?
I always go in last because I have a lot of hair, and so whenever I get into the bath, always some of my hair gets left and it starts floating.
Let's tag team this because I want to talk about hair.
Okay, go for it.
No. Keep.
No. So especially when so my wife doesn't really care so much if I go in first or if I go in last. It's whatever.
Do you want to explain like the first and last thing?
Well,
like with the concept of like sharing bath water and stuff.
Why don't so I guess the way that I can describe it is so I experience this a lot when I go to Niigata, to my wife's childhood home, and I'm with her parents too. They set up the bathwater, and everyone goes in order and uses the same bathwater. Yeah. It's normally first the mother, then it's Natsumi, then it's the father, and then it's me.
Okay.
And we all use the same bathwater, and there's actually like a little net that you can use to catch like hair or some other stuff, right? But I always go last because I have the most hair, and the hair always falls off of my body. So whenever I leave, there's always some hair in the water, you know? And also probably because I'm with the foreigner, I'm like not actually like in the same DNA, But
dude, you're part of the family, man. You gotta stick up for yourself a little bit more.
No, but I get it,
I know.
It's like, the fact that, Natsumi's mom, Natsumi's dad have all used the same water, and then I go into it. Doesn't really bother me that much. Like, I actually feel kind of bad if I were to go first, because if I were to go first, then I know my hair would be floating around, and then they would feel kind of bad about that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, is there anything else you want to share about that?
So yeah, it's just the fact that you typically speaking, so you heat up the bathtub, right? Yeah. And it's kind of like an honored position to be the person who uses the bath first.
Yeah.
Right. It's like growing up as a high school student, I would go and visit my host family, and they would always let me use the bath first.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I was already aware that was like kind of like a gesture of
kindness.
I'm getting a little bit drunk now, so my Japanese is sucking, but it's omotenashi, right?
Omotenashi, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like hospitality. Yeah. So that's like kind of like a, they're sharing some hospitality towards me. And I've never had to shower after people or bathe after people. Everywhere I go, like even when we went to Yui's house, with her parents, like I was the first person to use the bath.
It's funny because I'm always last.
Yeah.
And I I think what it was they asked me to go first. I said no, Saigo de this, because I said like
yeah.
I'm
See,
okay
the
with
difference
being last.
between you and me is I'm just like, oh, okay, great.
Yeah, dude, I just so I'm really like self-conscious about all my hair.
Yeah, me too, dude. Look at I've got the same problem.
No, I know. I have so much hair and I sweat so much.
Yeah,
and like that's so like one of the things that amazed me when I first moved here is just like, of course I know Japanese people sweat and they always like use the handkerchiefs to wipe their foreheads and stuff, but they don't smell the way that we smell.
No, that's actually a racial thing.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact details on it, but there's been like studies done, and it's like two-thirds of Asian people, and I'm bullshitting this a little bit because I've drank a little bit, but it's like the vast majority of Asian people do not emit like aroma when they sweat.
Yeah. Okay.
But for white people, that's like everybody stinks once you get sweaty.
Yeah. Just to tell you, I thought so when the Portuguese first came to Japan in the 15th or 16th century.
Yeah.
They actually thought it was unhealthy to take a bath more than once a week.
So yeah, in Europe it was a sign of like serious concern. If you bathed all the time, people think you were possessed by demons.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's,
do you want to know why?
Why?
It was just because like finding clean water was just such a hassle.
Yeah.
That, like it was reserved to like upper class. So like all the cheap peasants and stuff, they were just told not to bathe just because it was
really
It was just such a hassle getting clean water,
dude. That just so like I know this is totally unrelated to the podcast, but I just remember when in the Crusades where the Europeans were fighting the Muslims in Israel, right? The Europeans at first thought that God was on their side because when they would go into battle with the Arabians, with the Muslims would just fall off their horses unconscious. And they thought it was because of God's power, but no, it was because they only showered twice a year,
Yeah, no, that's I'm sure that's a bit exaggerating, but it has some there's some truth behind there because it's always funny. There's if you look at like the first exchanges between Japan and Europe, like one of the very first things Japan like really noticed about Europeans was like, God damn, you guys stink.
Yeah.
Like,
Just wash your.
Can you maybe take a bath like I don't know, once a week?
What's funny though is people thought it was bad for your skin if you took a bath more than once a week, you know? And now here people take baths every day.
Yeah. Well, it's like Japan's they're known as the bath people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can see it because like the baths kind of reflect the toilets where like they'll sing to you or play music. Like you can set the temperature.
Yeah.
You can set when you want to. Like my bath has a timer on it where it will fill up to a specific level at a specific temperature. Yeah. And then when it's over, it'll play a song and say "Ofuro ga akimashita." Like the bath is ready, and it's like you would never have that in the States.
Yeah. So I'm gonna rein us in a little bit because I want to talk about hair.
Okay.
Because I didn't get to finish my
You're
thing.
a very hairy mofo.
So I am a very hairy mofo, but So I want to go back to talking about how bathrooms are set up here in Japan. So in your bathroom, you'll have the bathtub and you'll have like the shower head separate, right? We've already established that. So in the center of the room, and the room is like very slightly slanted to like funnel water into a specific point. And in the center of that point, you're going to have a drain. Yeah. Right? And you have to clean the drain like pretty much every day. It is gross. Dude. I hate cleaning the drain, but it is so as a hairy person, you already know where I'm going with this. That drain gets clogged a lot.
Dude, but can I tell you, actually, it's my wife's hair that's the problem.
So, okay, that's where I was going to go with this. Because honestly, for me, it's like I am very hairy, but all of my hair is like pretty short. And honestly, I'm probably going to be bald in like the next 5 to 10 years. So my hair is going away, my fucking hairline. But Yui's hair is very long. And so when you have to clean up the drain,
you pull out.
Basically, what I'm trying to say is it's a lot of black hair in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's something you have to accept when you're using bathrooms here in Japan. But yeah, like there's a whole process of like cleaning clogged hair.
Yeah.
I've never had to deal with Western style bathrooms.
Well, it's funny when you say that because like so in my house, right, there's a bath.
Yeah.
And then right next to it is the shower area. So the shower head and the mirror and like the faucet is over on the right side and then the bath is on the left side. So if you just turn on the shower and go straight, it won't go into the bath, right?
Oh, really?
Because there's a spout that for the bath that's inside the bath where if you set it for the bath, like you can toggle between the bath setting or the shower setting or the faucet setting. So you have those 3 points. But yeah, so like the drain that's on the shower side, like right outside the bath, you take off the cover and it's just like floating water that's stale that has like hair and grime and also some of the soap and stuff. Yeah. And that's what I saw that too in when I lived by myself in my five Joe place, 5 tatami mats place. But yeah, it's weird because like I remember taking that off and then taking off the little faucet and I could see like stagnant water there in the U-pipe, like the U-pipe, which is great because it keeps away the odor.
Yes.
But in the States, like you never have that, like you never see that raw water sitting there. Like they'd always have the pipe go deeper so that you couldn't see it. It would just be like a hole, Yeah. But dude, seeing that water just grossed me out so much.
To be fair, it is really gross.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's done on purpose though, because they keep it at water level so it's easier to clean.
Yeah. It definitely is easier to clean that way.
But yeah, I do understand what you mean. It's like you're never exposed to the gunk.
Yeah.
In more Western style bathrooms.
Yeah, right.
Whereas Japanese bathrooms, it's like there's a lot more maintenance involved.
Mm-hmm. You have to take like a long like not a stopper, like what do you call it? Like a long brush to like get really deep into the pipes in the States. Whereas like in Japan, like you can kind of see the problem right there.
Yeah. And I would say it's probably like if you encounter problems, it's easier to fix.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. Because like my drain will get clogged all the time because Yui's you've met her. She has really long hair. It's like down to her like stomach basically, and so like my drain gets clogged every day.
Right. No, I get it.
I've got to clean it. But
so I'm kind of curious. So like if you were to go back to your parents' house,
yes,
you go to your friend's house in the United States, what would you like to change about the bath culture there?
The bath culture, I think for me, it's like getting rid of the porcelain.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I totally get that. It's too cold.
Plastic, yes. So, plastic bathtubs are 100% more comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, I noticed this very much when I went to my parents' house this summer just to kind of visit them. And it's not that they don't have a nice bathroom. My parents have a nice house. It's a very beautiful house. And you go into the bathroom and it looks nice, especially because they just got the floor redone. It looks really fantastic. But my family watches this. One thing that drives me nuts is so we have a door that's like I don't know how you describe this. It's got like you can hear everything in the bathroom, I guess is just how I'd explain.
Oh, okay.
It's I don't know how it looks like window blinds.
Okay.
How would you describe that?
Well, I'm not kind of getting the image.
Like window blinds, whereas like they're shutters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The door has shutters.
So it's not a door. It has shutters.
In the sense that like you can hear everything in the bathroom.
Okay.
So the door the bathroom is not soundproof.
Okay.
Right. So if I hear my dad go to the bathroom and he's like farting, and I can hear that, and it's just like
you don't want to
privacy would be great. You know what I mean? But by and large, my family has a really nice bathroom, right? And you go in there, and they have like the stereotype porcelain tub, and you go in there, and it's like especially during the winter.
Ah, dude.
Before you turn on the hot water,
When you step in it, it's like super cold.
Freaking ice, man. It sucks. Right? And you're just sitting there freezing until like the hot water finally like heats up the bathtub area, right? And that sucks so much. Dude. And it's like you just don't have to deal with that here because your bathtub's plastic.
It's like in the wintertime when you want to go to the bathroom and you have that moment of like, okay, my butt's going to be really cold. Right. I'm going to be really cold. And then you sit down and then it's like, because like, you know it's going to be so cold, you know? Yeah. Like at first I got kind of creeped out by heated seats on Japanese toilets, but dude, they're a godsend.
Yeah.
They're so good.
So I will say something that's really great about my parents' house is they have heated floors.
Okay. Oh, dude, that's great.
So the heated floors are really nice.
The tiles in the wintertime is the worst.
They're so good. Dude. Yeah, because most of my parents' houses, it's like wooden floors, and then like the kitchen and living room area is all tile.
Yeah.
But it's all heated now.
Dude, that's
so
great.
Good. It's so good.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the best things. That's one of the better things about plastic because it retains heat better. Yeah. So it's a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
But dude, I think this is a good place to.
Yeah, I think
we talked a lot of
like powered out 2 bottles now.
We've powered out this one. Yeah, we have a
definitely
little bit left,
slurring our words.
We can definitely do this a little bit later.
It's all right. My family loves when we do the drunk episodes.
So what do you want to talk about next time?
Oh man, something fall related. We're gonna be entering fall.
Yeah, right.
I'm pretty excited. You know what? Maybe it'd be fun to reflect on. We've been doing this for a year now, Arthur.
Yeah, we have been.
We started last August. Maybe we can we could talk about fall too, but maybe we can kind of reflect on what this channel's been like and how it's evolved, or you know.
Yeah, dude, let's do that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's awesome, but let's go.
Oh,
I mean, anything sounds good.
Anything's great, dude. Awesome. That sounds great. This is the awesome. Let's go.